While many people may misinterpret sigmas, there are a few reasons why they frequently ignore you. One is that they are not impressed by you. Sigma males have high standards and don't give their approval lightly, which can make them appear distant or even judgmental. They simply don't put much stock in what other people think. Sigma males are those who possess the traits of both an alpha and a beta. They are not content with simply following the lead of others, but also don't want to be in charge all the time. Sigma men don't give a damn about such things. They would much rather be with someone who is sincere and real. It's nearly impossible to impress a Sigma. They don't care about material belongings or superficial things, which is why they can occasionally come across as uninterested in others. However, they simply don't see the point in trying to impress someone they don't even know. Of course, there are occasions when Sigma men are impressed by someone or something, but usually because they have accomplished something they respect. For instance, a Sigma might be impressed by someone who has overcome adversity or accomplished something great. They would much rather admire someone who can inspire them than someone who is attempting to impress them. While other individuals could be readily swayed by kind words or hollow promises, Sigma guys have a keen sense of people and can see through any efforts at flattery or manipulation. They also have a very powerful nonsense detector and can tell a liar from a mile away. Sigma men need time to themselves to recharge, and they are frequently seen withdrawing to their cave. This need for alone time can make them appear cold or distant, but that is just the way they work. While some people are social butterflies and require constant interaction, Sigmas are the exact opposite. They would rather deal with the hard truth than be lies to two. They need time to themselves to clear their heads and recharge. They are not the kind of people who will be happy at a busy bar or club. Instead, they would much rather be in a quiet place where they can unwind and think. Sigmas are often found in nature or in their own homes because they get their energy from being alone and feel suffocated when they are around people for too long. Although some may see the need for alone time as a bad thing, it's really a good thing since it allows them to think on their lives and choose their goals, as well as be their most creative and productive while others are off having fun. Sigmas are often the ones that bring about change. For Sigma males, the term recharge may sound a little strange to others, but it's vital because without time for themselves, they will soon feel overburdened and stressed. A Sigma is not just sitting around doing nothing when they recharge. Rather, it's an active process that is vital to their well-being. 3. They dislike having to explain themselves to people who don't understand them. Sigmas are self-assured and don't need to seek approval from others, which can occasionally make them come across as conceited or even selfish, but they just don't function on the same wavelength as most people, whereas others may require continual reassurance. Sigmas are totally at ease operating alone. They have faith in their own judgment and don't need input from others to support their decisions. This self-reliance can be misunderstood by others, but Sigmas know that they don't have anything to prove for this specific reason. They often ignore the opinion of others, especially if it's harmful. It often happens for Sigma males that some people do not understand them at all. They try to explain themselves, but it's like talking to a wall. Sometimes it is just greater and easier to leave these people be. Not because Sigmas are selfish, but because it's a waste of time and energy. Even although Sigma men don't need verification of others, they are not arrogant or rude. They can be very nice and understanding, but they will only do so if it feels right. If somebody is constantly trying to put them down or is being negative, they will simply walk away they don't trust you. Sigmas are very guarded, and they don't trust readily. They have been burned in the past and are not about to let it happen again. This suspicion can make them seem untrustworthy, but they simply don't take anything at face value. While some people might be quick to believe in what others say, Sigmas are the complete opposite. They're not going to take your word for it. They need to see it for themselves. This reservations can often make them seem like they're doubting or questioning everything. However, this is just their defense mechanism. They don't want to be taken benefits of or hurt again, so they're not going to let their guard down easily. If they smell even the slightest hint of BS, they're going to ignore you. Before they can fully trust someone, Sigmas need to get to know them in a variety of situations and make sure they can be trusted. It takes a lot for a Sigma to trust someone, but once they do, they're in it for the long run. They won't just up and leave at the first sign of trouble. Once a Sigma trusts you, they will be loyal and dependable and expect the same in return. They will have your back through thick and thin. They might not show it on the outside, but they will undoubtedly be there for you when you need them. 5. They are absorbed in their thoughts. Although it may seem strange to others, Sigma guys are highly introspective and often lose themselves in their thoughts, which may make them seem distant. They are always thinking about something and attempting to solve problems. Actually, it's how they may solve issues and provide fresh concepts. They are always considering what may be and how things might be improved. They are always striving to connect and their minds are constantly racing. It might be annoying for others, but it's not personal. It's simply the way Sigmas operate. If you attempt to speak to them when they're deep in thinking, they might not even hear you because they're so focused on their own ideas that they shut out the outside world. The best course of action when speaking with a stigmatized person who seems aloof is to give them a moment to gather their thoughts. Of course, this isn't intentional. It's just the way their minds work. They love to process everything and always try to make sense of things. Sigma men aren't the kind of people who can just shut off their minds. They're always thinking, even when they don't want to be six. They don't like your drama and they prefer to keep things simple. They dislike anything that adds needless stress or drama to their lives, so they would rather settle disputes amicably and rationally rather than get worked up over something that can be resolved quickly. While some people may enjoy being in the thick of things, Sigmas prefer to remain on the sidelines and observe and analyze a situation before getting involved. This allows them to make more informed decisions, making them appear detached from the situation. They don't have to be a part of everything in order to understand it. This preference for peace and quiet frequently makes Sigmas seem uninterested or even dismissive of others, but they simply don't want to waste their time on pointless arguments and drama. They just don't have the time or energy to do it. But alpha men require attention and are attention-hungry. Sigmas would rather remain in the background, let others to take center stage, and avoid the spotlight. This is not to say that Sigma guys are timid. Rather, they just don't feel the need to always be the center of attention. They're content to live a more low-key existence and fly under the radar, which may sometimes make them seem invisible, but that's exactly what they want. 7 Too many dull individuals, Sigma men, often find themselves in social situations where they are encircled by humans who just don't interest them, whether it's a work function or a party. They often find themselves being bored out of their mind. This is because Sigmas are highly selective with their social interactions. They only want to be around people who they can have captivating conversations with. If they're not being stimulated mentally, they will quickly become bored. This is why Sigma males often enjoy interacting in small groups or even one-on-one. They want to have a real conversation without putting to worry about making small talk. Sigmas often feel like they don't fit in with the rest of the world. This is because they're always searching to get something more. They want to find their place in the world and want to find people smarter than him. The problem is that most people are satisfied with mediocrity. They're failing to look for anything more in life and are happy to just go by way of the motions. This is something that Sigma males will never understand. Doing the same thing over and over again is just not fascinating to them. 8. The world is full of people like this, and we all know at least one. Those who are quick to point out your mistakes but never willing to admit their own Sigma. You are too critical despite your own flaws. We are frequently quick to point out the flaws in others but blind to our own. Men will easily disregard someone like this because they can't stand them. It's easy to criticize the person in front of you, but it takes much more strength to look at yourself objectively and recognize your own flaws. These people are only interested in starting arguments and are not interested in having productive conversations. Once you can do this, you'll realize that everyone has flaws and that nobody is perfect. We're all just human beings trying to do the best we can. You exaggerate too much, and you don't understand why people feel the need to tell lies or exaggerate. They're always looking for the truth, and they're not content with half-truths or white lies. As a result, they frequently find it difficult to relate to other people because they don't understand why people don't use logic and reason when they're speaking. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone who speaks a different language. Everything they say makes no sense, and it just irritates them. Since everyone else is living in their own little bubble and not using their brains, Sigma males frequently feel as though they are the only ones who are truly living in the real world. They believe that exaggerating things is a waste of time and energy, and that it is better to get right to the point and be done with it. You don't want to be impolite. 10. Sometimes, Sigma males will ignore you because they don't want to come across as rude by interrupting or cutting you off. Being polite is important to them, so they would rather ignore you than offend you. If you're looking to start an argument with a Sigma male, you're going to have a very hard time because they are masters of self-control and they rarely lose their temper. They would rather walk away and ignore you than get into a heated argument. If you're looking for a fight, you'll be left alone.